In this video, we're going to explore another form of the reverse chain rule, and that's thinking about exponential functions. So when we're integrating e to the power of a function, let's have a look at some examples. All right, so this is the form that we're thinking about when we've got f dash of x times e to the f of x. And once again, before we look at that fully, let's start off with some differentiation. So suppose I had something like y equals e to the power of x to the 4 plus x plus 1. Well, we know how to differentiate this using the chain rule. When we differentiate e to the power of some stuff, we keep our e to the power of the stuff, and then we multiply by the derivative of that stuff, which in this case is 4x cubed plus 1. So imagine that I now asked you to integrate this. Well, once again, you're kind of putting your detective hat on and thinking, what must have happened to get us here? Well, I can see that this is the derivative of the power up here, which is a big clue that what must have happened was this bit over here, just e to the power of x to the 4 plus x plus 1 must have been differentiated, because when we differentiate it, what happens is this stuff out the front just gets spat out. So that's this form that we're looking at when we've got e to the power of a function. So this is our f of x up here, and then we've got the derivative of f of x down here. That is a big clue that what happened was we just had e to the function, e to the f of x, got differentiated. Let's look at some examples. So starting with this one, the integral of x e to the x squared. Well, this is in the right form because it's e to the power of a function. The function is x squared. And out the front, we sort of have the derivative of our function up here. Okay, it's x rather than 2x, but as long as we are within a multiple, that is some number times what it should be, it's fine. Once again, I'm going to use my guessing and checking. So my guess here is I think what the original function was. It was just e to the x squared or something like that. So to check, and the check is just to see what number I need to multiply by, I differentiate this. So e to the power of some stuff differentiates to e to the power of that stuff multiplied by the derivative of this up here, which is 2x. Okay, so that's basically what I have here. It's just 2 times too big. So my guess is a good guess. It's just 2 times too big. What does that tell me? It tells me that my answer should be a half e to the x squared plus c. Okay, not too bad in that one. Let's have a look at a few more advanced examples. So e to the sine x cos x. Do I have the form that I need? Yes, because it's e to the power of a function, and look, the derivative of that function is sitting there, very well behaved. In fact, this one here, you might be in a position now where you're starting to think, I don't necessarily have to do my guessing and checking if you can just see the answer, but don't worry if you can't. I'm going to guess that it's e to the sine x. I think that's a good guess because I've got e to the power of a function and the derivative of that function here. Okay, I'll check. So when I differentiate e to the power of some stuff, I get e to the power of that stuff multiplied by the derivative of that stuff. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So my guess was exactly the right guess. So the answer is e to the sine x plus c. Onwards with some more examples. And if you're feeling brave, do have a go at this one. So e to the tan x divided by cos squared x. Well, I do not obviously have the right form. I've got e to the power of a function, but where's the derivative of it? Well, the derivative of tan x is sec squared x. So with a little bit of algebraic magic, we can get what we want here because e to the tan x can go there, and then dividing by cos squared x is the same as multiplying by 1 over cos squared x. And what's 1 over cos squared x? Well, it's sec squared x. So what I in fact have is e to the tan x sec squared x. And look, that is in exactly the right form. It's e to the power of a function and then the derivative of that function sitting there. So now that I've got it in that form, I'm going to guess that the thing that got differentiated was just e to the tan x. So I just do a quick check for the numbers. So when I differentiate this, I keep my e to the stuff, and I multiply by the derivative of that stuff, which is sec squared x. And that's exactly what I wanted, so my guess was a great guess. Spot on, e to the tan x plus c. All right, final example, and we've got a definite integral here, so we're going to have a numerical and exact value. I've got the integral of e to the root x divided by root x, and it's between 1 and 4. So whenever we've got roots and we're integrating, it's best to convert those into powers. So I'll have the integral between 1 and 4. Well, e to the root x can be e to the power of x to the half, and then dividing by root x, well, that's just x to the power of minus a half. And now that I've got it like that, this does look like the right form. I've got e to the power of a function, and I've sort of got the derivative of the function. The derivative of x to the half is half x to the minus half. So that's fine. As long as we're within a multiple, we're fine. So I'm going to guess that the answer is simply e to the power of x to the half. And I'll check it to make sure my coefficients are right. So we keep our e to the x to the half, and then we multiply by the derivative of that stuff, which is half x to the minus half. And then I'll just tidy it up. So that's half e x to the half times x to the minus half. So that's good. That's basically what we've got here. It's just half as big as it should be. That means my guess is good. It's just needs to be doubled. So my answer is 2e to the x to the half. And that is what I'm going to be subbing in 1 and 4 into. So if I sub in 4, I'll get 2e, and then 4 to the power of a half is just the square root of 4, which is 2, minus, and then I'm going to sub in 1 next, so that's 2e, and then 1 to the power of a half, square root of 1 is 1. And there it is. Can we neaten it up a touch? It's just 2e squared minus 2e, and there's the exact value of that integral. Okay, so that is our second form of the reverse chain rule. We've got another form to come in the next video, so stick around and I'll see you there.